Hi guys, today is Wednesday, the 19th of July 2023. This day is significant because, well, the anti government protests are rocking the city and the country at large. We have had the running battles and fires being lit all over the place. Kenyans are agitating for better cost of living, so to speak. Yeah, but of course, the demonstrations have morphed into something else. Now it's a government and against the opposition, and the opposition has a list of demands. Among them, they want an audit of the 2022 general elections and so many other things that have just been, encapsulated in this otherwise very noble cause that we agitate for better living standards, better prices for basic food commodities, and so on and so forth. Here's my take. As I was working today, I left the house. I came, the roads were just clear. The city center is pretty much deserted. Everybody's staying away because, the protests normally turn violent at some point. When the protesters engage with the police, it's just a mess. So this is me dodging between here and there. Got a matatu that was coming to Nairobi CBD, and I got in and went to get a bus to my final destination. And there was a few buses, yeah, but it took long because there are no people, so it took long waiting for the bus to fill up. I got tired. I got out, got a motorbike, and hopped and got in there. In whatever budget I normally have for transport, it was overspent today because trying to get to the office, and it's a mess. But settling down, my estate was pretty okay. But when the evening settled, then now my bros who are down in the estate are sending me pictures saying, look at your locality, look at your neighborhood, it's on fire. The streets that were otherwise peaceful, people have suddenly come out. They have lit bonfires, they have put boulders on the roads, and everybody and the police are there, of course, trying to chase them off, but they still come back. And that cat and mouse chase kind of gives them a thrill. So they keep coming back, and the police comes and whips them out again, and so on and so forth. It's going into the night. And remember, the opposition says they want to do this for the next 3 days. So as I work, my siblings are calling me and saying, you please consider staying in the office because we don't know. These guys might wake up and continue into the night. It's an area of uncertainty, but of course reminds you of certain things that you hold dear, that your relationship with God that gives you the peace and stability to work. Even as things are going and there's so much havoc reigning supreme, the entire country is just feeling agitated, anxious, and fearful. Like I have a colleague who didn't even come to the office. She was like, hey, I had reports my neighborhood was not so good, so I stayed away. And so on and so forth. But the peace of God, Jesus is our Prince of Peace, Isaiah chapter 9. He reminds us that He is our all-knowing, all-present, ever-present God. That when we anchor our hopes on Him, that even when in the middle of a turmoil, in the middle of a raging storm, do you remember the story? Jesus is just lying in the boat. The disciples are screaming, Lord, save us. How can you sleep in the middle of the storm? How can you be asleep? But Jesus is right there in the boat with them, and He's like, why are you guys troubled? Wakes up and just calms the storms. And they're like, whoa, who is this? Who even the winds and the waves obey Him? We have the Prince of Peace in us. That even as we walk through this valley that we do not know if it is a shadow of the valley of the shadow of death, because we have deaths, so people have died. People are in hospital. People have been incarcerated. People have lost livelihoods. Your shop was looted. You need to start figuring out how to start again building what you had built. And there's a lot of uncertainty. In the middle of this, Jesus reminds us that He is the Prince of Peace, and we can call on Him, and He will calm the storms that are raging widely in this country. That we can trust in Him. We can depend on Him. Kenya, let's depend on Jehovah. Our peace. He is our Prince of Peace. He's our Shalom, our peace. He's able to stabilize and calm the storms that we're facing as a nation, as people, as individuals, as the opposition, as the government. He's able to calm the storm if we trust Him, if we allow Him in the middle of this conversation, if we allow Him to take over the reins of whatever it is that is troubling us. Because He can calm down the storms. He can bring the prices lower than how we're even anticipating. He can. He can hold the economy to levels that no human being can be able to intervene or interrupt. We can depend on him. That's my take today. We can depend on Jesus, our Prince of Peace. Amen.